From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service with Slow Burn. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. It's more than a mobile lounge. It's an environment and an experience rich in history, luxury, and personality. An elegant extension of any celebration occasion. It's the perfect escape and meeting place, a space where you can relax or enjoy a shared passion. Have Slow Burn plan your next big event, or before you are planning to celebrate your win over your athletic rival, you can shop our collections at www.slowburnwaco.com.
But if they want, you tell, I'ma do the dab, yeah.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
Q Time is a classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Timok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention.
This is Dr. Bill with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Mike Washington is still on assignment. My understanding, he's literally on assignment on the tarmac trying to get somewhere. So we're going to wish him safe travels. Before I get in to ask Charles how's he doing today, let me say welcome to episode 280 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports, institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, and the HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business for HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta, along with my co-host, Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to our KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, this multi-Hall of Famer, Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. I hear Ralph Cooper still celebrating his birthday. I'm just saying. Today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is sponsored by THD Agency LLC. THD Agency is a company that provides sporting and educational consulting and data analytics. You know, I kid you because of care, Ralph. They do say you're still taking gifts, though. I do understand that you said you're still taking gifts. Charles, how you doing today?
Doing well, Doc. Doing well. We are right up on it. It is you can smell those little trash talking football media day is coming up right up on us. So looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
No doubt about it. Good deal for everybody. Let's talk about some of this news out here. Before we do that, it involves a moment of silence in terms of some tragic news. Again, it doesn't seem like we can escape it very long, but it is a part of life. Southern University football alum Bradley Coleman dies tragically. This is reported by HBCUGameDay.com, Southern HBCU Sports. A lot of the media outlets have obviously put this out here. Southern University family is mourning the death of Bradley Coleman, whose life was tragically cut short in Georgia. Over the weekend, Coleman lost his life during an attempted carjacking in the native North Cross, Georgia, according to Gwinnett County Police Department. The young man was 29 years old, was reportedly pumping air into his tire at a gas station when three people pulled up behind him. One of the three got into the driver's seat of the vehicle, and Coleman began to fight off the two of them. The third vehicle pulled up behind, unaware of the situation, and was crashed into the suspect. Coleman was shot as the suspects fled. New Southern University President Dr. Dennis Shield offered his condolences on Monday. It happened to be that Bradley Coleman was part of the 2013 Southern University football team that brought home the school's most recent SWAC title. He was one of Dre Joseph's wide receivers after a career at North Coast High School. After graduating from Southern, he returned to Georgia as a high school football and basketball coach, living life. Quote, "It is with great sadness to share with the North Coast family that we lost a brother this weekend," end quote, in the high school poster. Quote, "Bradley Coleman was a friend, father, and an ambassador of goodwill. We'll keep everyone informed about any arrangements and ways to help support the family," end quote. With that, before we move on to some news, we'll take a moment of silence on behalf of Southern University, HBCUs, the SWAC, and more importantly, Bradley Coleman and his family. With that being said, Charles, hope you have some brighter news to share with us. Maybe we can lift our spirits into the HBCU sports as we move forward. What you got for me?
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, we are right up on some media days. It's the SIAC Football Media Day. They kick things off tomorrow, July 13th. Atlanta's position as capital of college football and home to major college football annual events such as Chick-fil-A, a kickoff game, Cricket Celebration Bowl, and Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge. Is the ideal destination for the SIAC Football Media Day. Each of the SIAC's 13 head football coaches and 2 returning student athletes will have an opportunity to share their expectations and views on the upcoming season. So that is huge. That'll be tomorrow. Of course, Black College Sports Network will be right there in terms of live coverage of the SIAC Media Day. Looking forward to it. Tuskegee, Miles Lane, Kentucky State, Central State, Albany State, Benedict kick things off. And then you have Clark, Atlanta, Fort Valley, Morehouse, Savannah State, Edward Waters, and Allen. In terms of the interview times, coach interviews will be conducted by Mr. James Verrett. So looking forward to a little SIAC media coverage tomorrow.
Shout out to James Verrett, SWAC, HBCU, Southern, getting it done in the SIAC. Our very own from the Black College Sports Network, in terms of the sports wrap, Ryan, AD, as well as Jamie will be added to the crew, and they'll be down there providing us a live coverage of the SIAC. So turn in tomorrow morning to get your update on the SIAC right here on the Black College Sports Network. As we know, we bring all types of HBCU sports news to you. Big and small, as I like to say. My JBN, my BCSN, download the app, mid-majors and majors, as we talk about over the polling. We gave you those preseasons. We'll see what they say and shake it up. We'll be able to give you some updates when we return on Thursday. But yeah, excited about that again. Brian, AD, along with Jamie, will give you updates on the SIAC Media Day tomorrow. They'll be there live. With that being said, there's some other news out there before I pass it to you, Charles. Partnership between the Northeastern Conference, MEAC, I kind of alluded to a little bit in terms of the baseball side, but you also will see men's and women's golf joining in a collaboration with the MEAC and Northeast Conference in terms of making sure that these MEAC teams will be part of a conference in terms of those sports that will allow them a position if they win the conference, that they'll have the automatic bid to NCAA tournaments. And again, that is in baseball, men's golf, women's golf. We talk a little bit about the baseball, but you also see it. So that is significant news for those programs being able to do that. For baseball, this will consist of Coppin State, Delaware State, Maryland, Eastern Shore, and Norfolk. For men's golf, that would be Howard, Maryland, Eastern Shore, North Carolina Central. For women's golf, that would be Delaware State, Maryland, Eastern Shore, and North Carolina Central. For you all that recall, Howard has a lot of sports that are not sponsored by the MEAC, as well as really other sports that many HBCUs do not play, such as men's soccer. And they are part of, as well as women's lacrosse, they are part of the NEC as well. So it seems like a good partnership between having to be two women leading these conferences in terms of getting it done. And so I thought that was fascinating that the way they were able to create this partnership. With that being said, let me go back to you, Charles. What other news you got out there?
Well, SWAC, they released the attendees who will be at the SWAC Media Day next week, as of course, it'll be on next Thursday of next week. So listen up, here are the SWAC attendees that will be at the SWAC Media Day. 2022 Media Day. Representing Alabama A&M, Abdul Fattah Ibrahim and Gary Qualls. Representing the Bulldogs. From Alabama State, it will be Demetrius Davis, quarterback, and defensive back Irshad Davis. Of course, those of us around Houston really excited about Demetrius Davis heading over to Alabama State, former North Shore product. Bethune-Cookman will be sending Kamari Everett, the big NFL prototype tight end, and Amari Hill Robinson. Representing Florida A&M will be the Sagmaster himself, Isaiah Land, and the speedy receiver, Xavier Smith. Representing Grambling will be Tyler Thomas, offensive lineman, and Joshua Reed, defensive back. Representing the Jackson State Tigers will be Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter. Representing Southern, I should say, will be Dallas Black, offensive lineman, and Cameron Peterson. Representing Mississippi Valley State will be running back Caleb Johnson and defensive lineman Ronnie Thomas. Prairie View will be represented by Trezon Cannon Connolly and Travion Green, quarterback and linebacker respectively. And Texas Southern will be represented by quarterback All-World Andrew Body and DeMontario Anderson. And the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff will be represented by Skylar Perry, quarterback, and Mark Evans, the big offensive lineman. So all the representatives will be in attendance next week at the SWAC Media Day. Looking forward to it. Wall-to-wall coverage here on the Black College Sports Network. Doc, you and I will be there. The pregame show will be there. All the outlets will be there covering this event. SWAC Media Day never misses in terms of expectations.
Yeah, get into it on Thursday because I want to get your thoughts in terms of the lineup. Were you surprised in terms of some of the people on the list or not? I want to take a deeper dive in that. I think we got a little more time on Thursday to get into it. Maybe I wrap our hands around that. Before I get into some more news, I did want to talk a little bit about a shout out to our lab listeners, Wendell Davis, Edwin Dwight Moore, Carol Kellum, R.B. Parker, G. Boom Holly, LaShawn Harris, William E. Davis, George Suggs in the house, Roderick Byron Holmes, and that would be Dr. Holmes as we call him around these parts, Jerome G. Sutton in the house, Kay Johnson, Chad Cooper, making sure to bring in the light, Ricky Burton, John Jenkins. So just wanted to give a little love. Appreciate y'all joining us today, bringing the noise as you always do. Let us know if you got some thoughts, questions out there we need to consider. We make sure we get it to that. We have an interview for you today. Make sure you get a chance to hear some insights from one of the new hirings out there. So we'll see what we thought on this. Another news that I got to get out there, time a little bit of baseball before we get into some other big news that I'm sure that people have heard about. It just kind of dropped a little later in the day, but I did want to share this. People may not have heard this, but you know, this is fascinating out here. Black College Nines talking about the GCAC, Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. You know, we talked about Dr. Kiki Baker-Barnes, how she was the first full-time commissioner of the conference, getting it done and wanted to grow the membership, which she has done, also grow the sports offering. And guess what? GCAC will add 4 HBCU baseball programs in 2023. I think this is big. We've heard a couple of baseball programs being cut, Division I, Division II, but at the NIA level, they're coming on with some on board. So that is a big announcement there, as the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, as 2 existing members, as you know, Philander Smith and Dillard University will be adding baseball as varsity sport, while new conference members, Oakwood University, is resurrecting their baseball program. And the second new member, Wiley College, will bring an existing baseball program to the GCAC. As they continue to grow, one of the things about the article talks about the GCAC being able to get that automatic bid out of the NIA, hosting these programs. So this is big news from the GCAC in terms of what they're doing and moving that conference forward, a conference at the NIA level that is made up of all HBCU programs. So I thought that was big news. Wanted to get that out for a lot of folks that may have missed that. So I think that's incredible out there. Charles, back to you. What's some other news that you want to get on the table as we're wrapping through this rapid fire about what's hot out there in the HBCU space?
No doubt. And shout outs to HBCU Game Day for providing us this article. Pro Football Hall of Fame semifinalists include 4 HBCU greats. And I want to mention these greats. Pro Football Hall of Fame 12-person committee has trimmed their list of senior candidates down to 25 semifinalists for the 2023 class, which includes 4 HBCU greats and Black College Football Hall of Famers on the list. Former Prairie View and Kansas City wide receiver Otis Taylor is among them. Former Florida A&M quarterback and Cincinnati defensive back Ken Riley. Former Grambling and Dallas and New York Giant defensive back Everson Walls. And also on the list is the great Lloyd Judge Wells, Texas Southern product and enterprising groundbreaking scout who paved the way for a flood of HBCU products to join the league. Definitely wanted to get that information out there. Talking to many old heads through the years, they talked about how uncoverable Otis Taylor was. We've heard the stories of Ralph Cooper talking about how great Otis Taylor was. Really, really heartfelt. Want him to get into the NFL Hall of Fame. He is beyond due, as well as Lloyd Judge Wells, in terms of all the work he has done. And of course, Ken Riley and Everson Walls as well. Don't want to neglect anybody, but all 4 are more than due of their induction into the NFL Hall of Fame.
I couldn't have said it more better than that, perfectly as you put it on the table. Great points that you made there in regards to that. Anybody from the Houston area knows about Lloyd well. People, old school folks, will hear you talk about Judge, and a lot of the terminology came from Lloyd Well, as he would say that endearing the folks that he came around. In the stories that you hear about Lloyd Wells are things that we can't even say on television, good, bad, and indifferent. He was a character. It's good. And shout out to all those that have been pushing for these individuals to get on there,
yes,
particularly that
yes.
group Prairie View, and making it happen, because I hope they find a way to get to those final cuts, because this is big news. With that, before we get into this break, I can't miss out on this. NBC Sports and Bayou Classic announced media rights extension. The new agreement, which kicks off this year with the 49th annual Bayou Classic as Southern and Grambling State renew their storied football rivalry on Saturday, November 26th on NBC and Peacock. This is from HBCUGameDay.com, as well as HBCU Sports. NBC Sports and the Bayou Classic, one of the biggest HBCU football games of the year, played between Southern and Grambling, have agreed to a 3-year media rights extension through 2024. Both parties announced today. The new agreement, which kicks off this year, the 49th annual Bayou Classic, between these storied football rivalries on Saturday 26th, as I was said, extends the historic partnership that began in 1991. NBC Sports presentation of the Bayou Classic will continue to showcase the Battle of the Bands, the celebrated tradition between Southern and Grambling marching bands during the Bayou Classic halftime show. Quote, "We are excited to continue the 30-plus year partnership with Bayou Classic," said Gary Quinn, that's the VP programming NBC Sports. "We are eager to amplify the great legacy of Bayou Classic and the HBCU mission by showcasing this year's game on NBC and Peacock, where we're equally looking forward to the celebrating the 50th anniversary of this historic rivalry in 2023. As part of this, which I think is big, is Southern and Grambling will participate in professional development programs through NBCU Academy, a journalism training and development program designed to prepare college students and young professionals for career in news and media technology industry. Big news in terms of extending it outside of just what's on the playing service. Additionally, NBC Sports represents select journalism students from both Southern and Grambling. The opportunity to cover the event on NBCSports.com. Students at Southern and Grambling will also have access to NBC Sports Black Employee Network, BEN, which seeks to foster and grow a strong Black employee base throughout the NBC universe. Quote, "A huge thanks to NBC for bringing the Bayou Classic tradition of college football to the national television," end quote, said Dennis Shields, the president chancellor of Southern University System. Quote, "What began a one-year agreement in 1991 to introduce the Bayou Classic to a worldwide audience has spanned 32 years and allowed millions of viewers all over the world to be a part of this HBCU showcase." President of Grambling State, Rick Gallo, is also quoted as saying it was not small feat returning to New Orleans last year for what proved to be an exciting game, end quote. Quote, "We, with the debut of Coach Hugh Jackson, a motivated group of G-Men, world-famed Tiger Marching Band, exhilarating cheerleaders, and passion from Grand Fam, we look forward to sharing the Bayou Classic experience with the viewers across the country," end quote. That's big time, big time. Last quote I'll give you here, Diamond Phillips, SVP Strategic Initiatives and Head of Diversity and Inclusion of NBC Sports, is quoted as saying, "The importance of the partnership extends well beyond the football field, I should say. The Bayou Classic has become a tentpole for our diversity, equity, and inclusion program, and we're excited to continue to work with Southern and Grambling State to educate students on careers in journalism, media, while offering hands-on experience opportunities." That'll do it for us out of this first break. Let's get into the break. We'll be right back after this first segment.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna loud, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, yes, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
Yes, this is Dr. Bill with Inside HBCU Sports Lab. Boy, you should hear some of that noise talking in the break. There's no love lost here, but we're going to see if we can get through this interview with the new Director of Athletics at Mississippi Valley State University, Hakeem. How's it going today?
All is well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh, it is our pleasure. It's a pleasure. Before we get into it and talk about your resume, your background, and those things, I think we should just get into it. I really like the background. You said elevate. So let's just talk about what that means. What do you mean when you say elevate?
First, let me get the full look of it. I just want you to see it as a whole. When I say elevate, I mean every facet of what we do in athletics and the university as a whole. We want to be better. We know where we are and we know where we want to go. And so I want to elevate in every facet, from the way that they travel, the way food they eat, their mindsets, the rhetoric around the SWAC as a whole. When you talk about Valley, as our football team is pushing the threshold, it's not what they say, the old Valley. We're trying to push the envelope and let you know, when we step into the gym, when we step into to the field of play, it's not. We're not taken lightly. So I just want to elevate the mindsets of our student athletes, of our fans and supporters, and even our opponents, to let them know, hey, you got to be ready when it's time for when Valley comes into town, because we're not taken lightly by any means. We're a Division I program, and we're going to continue to push forward and elevate in everything that we do.
I can appreciate that framework in so many different ways. So let's level set and go back a little bit. Tell everybody where you're from, how you're connected with HBCUs, Mississippi Valley State. I know, but I want to make sure for those that may not, what does that look like, if you would?
Yes, sir. I am a native of Gulfport, Mississippi, coming from a small neighborhood, Surrey City. I'm a little different. My neighborhood is the capital of my city, so we have it's where Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, also known as Chris Jackson, is from. We're from the same neighborhood. My mom, my dad, and my whole family is HBCU through and through. My mom went to Jackson State. Don't hold yourself over there, Bishop. My mom went to Jackson State. My dad's an Alkanite. My brother started off at Southern and finished up at Tuskegee, and my sister she went to Tougaloo, and she was Miss Tougaloo. So and they brought us around Jackson State game, all games, going to FAMU. So I grew up in HBCU through and through, going to Valley games, so forth and so on. So I'm through and through, and my high school track coach, he was a Valley grad and from the same neighborhood. He told me, hey, the coach that was here, Coach Charles Roof, Coach Prince Jones is my high school coach, and Coach Charles Roof was here, the great late legendary Charles Roof. He gave me an opportunity to come up and run track, and he's from Gulfport as well. So all those things tied in together and got me up here on a full scholarship to run track. And as I matriculated through here, became a SWAC champion in track and field. Participated in football as well. Great coach, Willie Totten, gave me a shot at that as well. I'm a little guy, but I had a love for it, and I was hard to catch. So it was a great opportunity to do that. And I got into the business, and Ashley Robinson was here working as a director of compliance, and that's when I first got to know each other, and through that and through working, trying to try to get with them. That's how I kind of got started into the business.
Well, I also know you have your connections with the state of Texas, and it goes back before you even got there, as your friends called you Hakeem the Dream. That's Hakeem Olajuwon with the NBA Rock. A little different story. Folks may not know about that. I certainly wanted to share that. But all seriousness, you also had a stint Prairie View University under Ashley Robinson when you worked as academic advisors and worked for men's baseball, women's baseball, soccer, track and field, as you cut your teeth, if you would. In a lot of ways, you're a young man, if you allow me to use that framework.
Yes, sir.
But it doesn't mean that you didn't have a lot of experience. You have a lot of experience coming from Jackson State most recently. So you're embedded with really a lot of knowledge. Talk about your experiences at your different steps before this opportunity came to be named the Director of Athletics at your alma mater. What kind of background prepared you for taking advantage of this opportunity that came your way?
Well, we go back to 2012 when I came back to grad school. My wife kind of nudged me, hey, it's time to go back to school after I graduated in 2010. And that's when AD Ashley Robinson was taking the helm here at Mississippi Valley. So, and we had stayed in contact, and I told him I wanted to be in the business, and he didn't really take me seriously. But he said, this is your opportunity. And for those who doesn't know what a data review is basically when the NCAA comes in and looks at all your records, an audit for lack of term. So it's basically an audit. The NCAA is coming in to see your practices, to see how you're doing things. And that was my first introduction into the business as a whole. So I got the full rundown from compliance to academics, the how to, why and why not, the different areas on campus or why they're important and how everything ties into place in that regard. So I had a crash course. They sometimes, trying to teach you how to swim back in the day, they just push you in. I was just thrown in the water to hey, go swim. And I definitely learned a lot of tools there. Here, and I stayed 2 years from 2012, 2014, went over to Prairie View, which I learned a bulk of everything that I took on to prepare me. Prairie View was a great institution, great leadership there, and a great system that they have that kind of taught me the ins and outs of more and more in depth of things. Also, 3 months in there, it was another data review. So I have seen the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to the experience. Sometimes the test of time, when you experience, it makes you better. So went through the as an academic advisor, went through the data review with there, did 2 years there, and then we through the data review, they said you need a certification officer, and they looked directly to me, and that I was housed in the registrar office, where I learned the other side of campus. And people don't understand that you have to tie both areas, academics and the athletic side, have to speak to each other, and how important it is for us to be on the same page. And that gave me a lot of great tools there, moving, and that all that putting into the pot, and to understand the compliance and academics, which led me in my role at my previous institution down the road, which really gave me the opportunity to flourish more and more, and all of those different areas made that goulash of greatness to bring me to where I am right now.
Charles, I wanted to let you jump in here and ask a follow-up question.
Yeah, well, I want to say, Brother AD, first and foremost, congratulations. Tremendously deserving. Mississippi Valley State has a special place in my heart. My father was a 1965 graduate, member of the Mississippi Valley State Band, the first HBCU band to participate in the Tournament of Roses Parade. So I'm extremely excited and happy for you being up there at Mississippi Valley State. And I want to ask this question as a fan, in terms of, I grew up watching Mississippi Valley State. My dad would take us back to the games when Titan and Rice were at their highest. And that Delta fan base is very, very passionate about Mississippi Valley State athletics. But you had a unique opportunity at Jackson State in terms of watching this branding experience with Coach Prime and things of that nature. Talk about just bringing those tools to Mississippi Valley State.
Oh, without a doubt, as I was just saying earlier, what I learned from each institution, I take a little bit of here, a little bit of there, see what we're doing, and just taking that blueprint and pushing it forward. I've learned a lot under Ashley Robinson. I've learned a lot from Coach Prime and A.D. Wells Kilbert and Coach Scott, in each and every piece that I have to have a hand into it, because I'm a person that wants to be involved and want to learn to a point, because I knew at some point that I would be sitting in this seat at some magnitude. And what great experience to come back to the alma mater and do it. I'm going to definitely take every piece small content and things that has been done that is being done with Jackson State, I'm going to implement it there. You know, it's not recreating the wheel. It's just taking what you see and making it, tailoring it to hear what we can do at Valley and make it the best that we can here and just grow from there. Not trying to bite off everything at one time, but taking a little bit of steps at a time. And I think I've kind of tried to allude to that. And I know you pay attention to everything, so you see a little taste of it right now. But I just trying to build a team and build more and more to so that we can get to the level that everyone recognizes.
Sure. Mr. Valley State.
Let's take this break, Charles, and then on the other end, we'll bring you back to let you follow up with your question.
Sure.
Let's get into our second break, and we'll come back right after that and let Charles follow up and get into more depth into the interview.
Thank you.
2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st.
World, what's happening? Rob Morgan here. Just letting you know, July 29th through the 31st, I'll be at Montgomery, Alabama, Urban NerdCon. Come on out, get something signed, take a photo, say hello, let's share some stories and create some memories, you know? Peace.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier Blurred event in the universe. TheUrbanNerdCon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Bill with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We're here with the Director of Athletics, Mississippi Valley State University, Hakeem. I know, Charles, you had a follow-up question. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I wanted to just kind of follow up in terms of some of the things that you really want to get done in Mississippi Valley State. There's a lot of excitement, especially around this football team. You have one of the more dynamic coaches in the conference. Everybody in the conference knows that when you play Mississippi Valley State, especially in football, you're gonna get a dogfight. But just your coaching staff in general in terms of athletics, it's a unique place to coach at. But everybody knows that Mississippi Valley brings the fight in everything they do.
Yes, sir. To Coach Dancy, we, like you said, is a class act and a great coach, and he's going to prepare, and he's going to come ready, and he's going to have those kids ready. They're going to come ready to play, and that's what definitely we want to instill everywhere. When we talk about elevate the mindset, elevate what we're doing, and we want to come on the other side of it. You know, not just being close, but winning some of those games. We want to elevate just like I said, the mindset. We want to take what we have and give the coaches and the student athletes the resources they need to be successful. So we got to, myself and the staff, we have to do more. And we're doing more with less. Sometimes it's hard, but it's not impossible. Anything is possible, and we have something to prove here. he has something to prove, and I definitely believe in that. But giving our student athletes the tools that they need to be successful, from the athletic training to strength and conditioning, to the food that they're intaking, their nutrition, to the field that they play on. We got to have just the fundamental things taken care of before we can really start to, look at the big picture of things. But those things are coming. So we got to take care of the core of it, the academics and compliance, the strength and conditioning. So we have to pour into our student athletes first, and then we'll work on all the other things that are coming in line. But that's if I'm not here without my student athletes. So I got to take care of them first.
Sure thing.
We follow up. Are you believing the philosophy with the 30, 60, 90? If not, what type of philosophy do you have in terms of coming new into the program? What are the things you like to look at first?
Yeah, so I am and I'm not at the same time, Doc. I came in with the simple slogan is I have to evaluate to elevate. Sometimes we put a goal, we'll say 30 days, we'll say 60, we'll say 90 days. But when you're trying to build from ground up, as you're trying to change and elevate things, it takes some time. But my biggest thing is I just alluded to is just trying to put things in place to take care of my student athlete, my business practices, the way that we take care of business, our do's and our policies and procedures. So we have to look at how things are done, and being where I came in at this time in June is kind of late. So right now the true focus is taking care of our student athletes, getting season tickets on sale, and trying to generate some immediate revenue, so we can get ready for the fall, and then we'll start rolling some things out, strategic planning, so that everyone see what we got going on and see what we're trying to do and trying to elevate here at Mississippi Valley State.
I really think it's important in terms of the evaluation piece, and not necessarily starting your plan right off, whether that's a 360, 90 or part of that, but at least that evaluation is in there. Alluding to the evaluation part, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've tried to do the research and studied out there, but I know some of the concerns that I've at least heard or thought that were the case in terms of the scholarship limitations, particularly in football, and it may be some other sports. Again, tell me in terms of, you talked about that budget, how much does it affect Valley in regards to being as competitive above in regards to what you see, the tenacity, and as you said, translating that more into wins. How can you, is that accurate in terms of the scholarship challenges that exist and raising that money? What are some things that you can do? Are you able to go to the president and ask for that funds, or is that something that you're going to have to go get outside, if that's correct?
Well, first off, I have a great president, and he has a great vision and understanding of where we are and what we're trying to do.
He is sharp.
Yes, he understands it, and we've had some very in-depth conversation. We have to strategically plan of how we can get to that. Scholarships is an issue, but they have, before I even got here, they have committed to bringing our football teams to the percentage that they need to be, so we can play the Power 5 games or what have you, to understand it. So we are there now. I just want to get that out there. We are there now, and we're here to be competitive, so you can understand that where we are and where we're going. When I say elevate, like I say, I mean it in every facet. Like I said, my president he's committed to that before before I got here, and that was a part of the conversation. Are we committed as a university to move so? And the answer was, without a shadow of a doubt, was yes, sir. And we're going to plan. Yes, we have to get out there and raise some money, but we have to show why it's important to invest in scholarships. As the old saying is, it take money to make money, right? So
yes, sir.
In reference to that, once you pouring into a competitive landscape, you will see the things that are changed. You see the different institutions when they're pouring into it, where they're getting the support. You see the change, you see the difference. We have a great coach, we have a great foundation, we have great coaches, we have great foundation and great leadership here. We just have to continue to elevate our mindsets and the way we do things so that the student athletes see it and they continue to push. But we have to do a better job on our end as athletic administration to make sure that they are getting the tools they need to be successful. Because it's hard to evaluate to coaches without giving them the tools that they need. You say you want to drive from Houston to Mississippi to Jackson, but you ain't got the gas money. It's gonna be tough. You're gonna come up short. So those are the things that we have to do. We have to make sure that we have all the tools and resources that the student athletes and the coaches need to be successful. And it's going to take some time. Don't get me wrong. Of course, in this day of age, from the kids to our fans, we want it right now. We want it right now. We want it right now. And it doesn't matter if you're at the top or you at the bottom. We want to see change now, which you're going to see some change, but we know this is a process, but we're not going to back down by any means. We're going to step forward with our best foot forward.
I believe you, because I saw what Coach Danzy did Delta Devils last year in football. So it makes me feel maybe a little better that the scholarships are there, because I was like, this not looking good. But I keep you because I care. But I did want to ask this frame of the question in terms of the additional that. How much were you aware and knowledgeable working with Ashley Robinson at Jackson State in terms of the expansion as it was taking place? And I asked you from this perspective, does the expansion of the SWAC, the heightened publicity that you see throughout the SWAC, the leadership from the commissioner's office, does that help in providing an avenue for you to be able to go take the next step for Valley in terms of increasing revenue and doing the things that you want to do? Or is it more of a hindrance? How do you see that in terms of the expansion of the SWAC?
I always take things in perspective. I never look at anything in a negative manner. Commissioner McClellan is pushing us forward. So you got to catch up. You got to do the things that you want. If you say you want to be a part of something, you got to catch up. That's just like if you're on a team and you say you want to start and you need conditioning, you got to run a little bit more as in reference to athletics. So we have to do more to catch up, and that's what we're doing. When I run back to it, elevating what we're doing to be at the standard of the SWAC, because the SWAC is moving forward. As Commissioner said, this is not the SWAC of old. We're pushing the envelope to be in the conversation as anybody else.
Well, with the elevating with you at the leadership, it doesn't look like it's the valley of the old, or at least the recent old, as you would, more of the heydays that you're bringing back loud and proud. Charles, you want to follow up?
Well, I just wanted to say congratulations, Hakeem. I've watched you, especially at Jackson State. I always joke that you're probably one of the busiest people running around on game days in terms of all that you were had your hands into and things of that nature. But you were always gracious with me with regards to everything that we've done with the pregame show and everything that I've done with Jackson State Media, and always very appreciative of that. So I wanted to just thank you for that.
Man, I appreciate it. And it's always been a pleasure. Back when we first started getting this process run, we just say, hey, we're good to go. And I just want you to follow A, B, and C, and we're good. And you were just you were first class. You and you're good right hand man, great Neely man.
Tilly, don't do all that. Tell him to move all that JSU stuff. Tell him to move that over.
Since you brought it back up, you said your dad was a Valley grad. You need to show it and move some
Valley stuff.
Move the camera on over. And let's do it right, okay? Next time, let's do it right. But I do
at least put the Valley up there. Come on, get some
representation. I need something from the Valley. Exactly.
What kind of person are you?
I do want to say this because I don't want former student athletes or a previous administration I want them to understand that I'm not trying to take a shot that say the old Valley or this, that, and other. I want us to elevate from our current state. That's just all I wanted to. I don't want people to take any negative connotation. This is my school. This is my school. I love my school, And this is why I want to be here to elevate where we currently are to move in a better fashion. So I just wanted to make sure that people understand where I'm coming from in that regard.
No doubt.
That's fair. Yeah, that was me. So make sure they come at you, blame it on me. And I am straightened from what you just said there. But in all seriousness, I wanted to also say thank you for how you treated me at Prairie View and as first class, bringing me to the table. So I appreciate that. And I will continue to acknowledge what you're able to do. And I believe that the elevator is a perfect terminology using for Valley. Without remiss, I would want to give you this time to make sure you have a chance to share your gratitude with anybody that you want, or any other thoughts, questions we didn't ask you that you want to get out there on the platform. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, yes, sir. Well, as all, I'm immediately thanking my family and for the support from my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and of course, my wife, my son, and my daughter. The great leadership at Jackson State, the great leadership at Prairie View, and of course, the leadership here at Mississippi Valley. It's a new day, and we're ready to elevate and take these things to a new level, and to be in the conversations with the other schools in regards to we're here to stay, and this is not overnight. We do have season tickets on sale. I'm there for general admission. They're $100. You can go to NBSUsports.com and you can see right at the top and click on tickets. It'll take you directly to the link. Also, I have the Elevate campaign. I treat it like a subscription type base. Everyone has Netflix. Everyone has Apple Music. Everyone has all these different types of subscriptions. I say, hey, we are all a family. Support whether you with Valley, you're for Valley, for HBCUs or not. Help give to Mississippi Valley State University. And this will help our student athletes in all facets that are needed. It's a minimum of $10 a month. You give that's $120 a year. I believe in strength in numbers, just as do subscriptions and Netflix and all these different guys. They have a bunch of people buying into it. That's how they're successful. So that's my philosophy of moving. So feel free to visit NBSUsports.com, and you can find all the things that you want to give and all the opportunities and everything we have going on. And you can follow me on social media at Hakeem McClellan on Twitter and Instagram, and Hakeem McClellan on Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook user, but Instagram, and you could reach out to me. I have an open door policy, so feel free to reach out to me. I engage with any and everybody. So I appreciate you. And as I always say, let's elevate.
Let's elevate, Mr.
Let's elevate.
Hakeem McClellan. Go Delta Devils. With that, we appreciate your time. We'll be right back after this last break. Good job, man. I'm ready.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service with Slow Burn. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge featuring a meticulous curated collection of premium cigars. It's more than a mobile lounge. It's an environment and an experience rich in history, luxury, and personality. An elegant extension of any celebration occasion. It's the perfect escape and meeting place, a space where you can relax or enjoy a shared passion. Have Slow Burn plan your next big event, or before you are planning to celebrate your win over your athletic rival, you can shop our collections at www.slowburnwaco.com.
But if they want to tab, I'ma do the dab, yeah.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
Q Time is a classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
Press the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna law, and who the ball, So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. I hope you enjoyed that interview. With that being said, I wanted to get into this news topic. I wanted to get a little more time into it because in a lot of what we are about and do here, pregame show, sports rap, BCSN is storytelling and telling it from the perspective of HBCUs, the sporting HBCU dash. Walt Disney Company announces Disney Storytellers Fund at Howard University to support the next generation of Black storytellers. Walt Disney Company announces the creation of this Disney Storytellers Fund at Howard University, which will create opportunities for historically underrepresented students to have future careers in storytellers and innovators in the media entertainment. The Disney Storytellers Fund at Howard University will provide stipends over a 5-year period for student projects focused on storytelling across a variety of media, including animations, digital design, gaming, journalism, live action, performing arts, product design, visual design, virtual reality, and more. Disney will also provide speakers and mentors to students in the program to spark interest in these fields and help them build the skills necessary for a future career in entertainment. And the program will assist students with fellowships, internships, and full-time roles. Quote, was across Disney's brands, we are working to amplify underrepresented voices and untold stories. The Disney Storytellers Fund at Howard will help us support students and the innovation and creativity the university has cultivated for more than 150 years. We're excited to help the next generation of Black storytellers bring their ideas to life, end quote. This is Jennifer Kahn, Executive Vice President of Corporate Social Responsibilities at the Walt Disney Company. In addition, our students at the College of Fine Arts and their creative expressions in many ways in the performing arts, the animation, and the design of the products that we'll use in life. The Disney Storytellers Fund is a great support for our emerging artists as they explore and develop their potential within and across disciplines, end quote. That is Felicia Rashad, Dean of the Chadwick A. Bozeman College of Fine Arts, was said. You notice that when we talked about the addition of the Bayou Classic between Southern University with the HBCU and what they're doing in terms of the creative arts and journalism are more on their side of it. But I want to get your perspective as you see these large corporations, media conglomerates in a lot of ways. What are your thoughts of seeing this additional framework of not only producing the product in terms of sports, whether that's ABC, ESPN, obviously a part of the Disney world of sports, our company, I should say, or NBC in terms of the cutout that you see with the Bayou Classic. What are your thoughts in terms of the support going forward on that?
Yeah, we're in a very exciting time with regards to HBCUs and HBCU athletics. And to see that corporate support coming to fruition and for corporate entities to understand and the value of not just HBCU storytelling, but as you talk about it so often, Dr. Cavil, the diaspora itself. This is part of the fabric of this country. HBCUs are woven into the tapestry of this country. They've been excluded for so long, and for a window to be open now into a lot of people becoming aware of HBCUs, it means the world, and to have that corporate support, that is huge.
Yeah, I appreciate those sentiments. Before I close out, I posted this and just wanted to say it a little bit, give some people some thoughts on it, maybe get your thoughts if you hadn't seen it or heard it by now. Saw so much going on out there that this thought came to my mind, and oftentimes, I may say it on the show, other times I'll keep it to myself, discuss it with individuals that are close with me, but something was stuck in me putting it out there. And I thought it was in the veins of what we see going on. It's becoming more salient, the purposeful act of remaining in a conference that is composite of historically Black institutions in itself an act of resistance. When we get a little more time, I'll go back and really frame why I said exactly what I said, and in a lot of ways, just the poignant of what I was trying to get across. But I did want to give you a thought process if you wanted to share. When you heard that, what came to mind from yourself? What perspective? Because we had others out there that shared some thoughts. Many people in agreement, some not, which is fair. But what in and of itself, when you hear something like that, what comes to mind?
In this changing climate of college business or college athletics, the fact that these conferences are still around and still viable, it speaks volumes, and they're here to stay, and they should be here to stay. So that was my initial thought when I saw that tweet that you put out there. Poignant words. When you say it just resonates, you know, that these conferences are what I've grown up on, what I've come to love, and I'm here for them. I love talking about them, so it's important.
I really appreciate you sharing that platform and your thoughts there. With that, any closing thoughts as we get in here? I want to remind folks, after you give your closing thoughts, to tune in tomorrow for the SIAC, but I'll say more about that after I give you your time.
Yeah, well, it's huge. The SIAC, they kick things off with the media day tomorrow. Be sure to tune in here on the Black College Sports Network. I came across a great article. I'm always fascinated by homecomings in terms of when they're coming up, and HBCU Game Day has a great post in terms of when homecomings are. So be sure to go out there and check those out. The majority of homecomings, of course, will be in the month of October. October 22nd is going to be a huge weekend. You're going to have 11 HBCUs with homecoming games. The state of Mississippi in particular, Alcorn, Mississippi Valley, and Jackson State will all have their homecoming games on that particular day. And I thought it was very interesting. Bethune-Cookman, they show up on a lot of people's schedule for homecoming. In addition to their own homecoming, they're part of 4 other teams' homecoming schedule. So homecoming is huge within the fabric of HBCU culture. And whenever I see this schedule, it always is an exciting thing to see.
Yeah, I'm disappointed this year. A couple of homecomings I was trying to line myself out that I wanted to go to, but they all collide on the same time. Games. I was like, what are these people doing?
Hey, it's folks in Mississippi so upset. They cannot believe all Jackson State Valley is all the same
go in and of itself. No doubt. But I did want to remind everybody, tune in tomorrow. BCSN, continue to download my JV and my BCSN, as we will have Brian Fulford, AD Drew, and Jamie Walker live in Atlanta for the 2022 SI Football Media Day. You can tune right into BCSN and get all the information about these products. Some of the interview time out there that may have to pick and choose what's out there. 10:50 is scheduled to be Tuskegee. 10:55 is Miles. 11 o'clock would be Lane. 11:05 Kentucky State. 11:10 is Central State. 11:15 is Albany State. 11:20 is Benedict. 11:25 Clark Atlanta. 11:30 Fort Valley State. 11:35 Morehouse. 11:40 Savannah State. 11:45 is Edward Waters. 11:50 is Allen. As you see, Edward Waters and Allen's at the end. As you recall, we told you a couple of weeks ago, Edward Waters and Allen are not eligible for the football championship, although they will be playing a composite schedule. They will be eligible for the other sports, but that's the breakdown when you talk about what will be going on there. Coaching interviews conducted by James Barrett. Everything kicks off at 8:30 in terms of those that are there that need to register. But one-on-one interviews will begin promptly at 9:30. That will do it in terms of the SIAC Football Media Day Central, as they call it, which will be over there at the College Football Hall of Fame. Beautiful place, beautiful setup for a media day. Kudos to SIAC getting that done in so many different ways. Shout out to the commissioner in terms as he closed out in a strong way. That'll do it for us today. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends. colleagues, I am Dr. Kenyatta, Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Hope you enjoyed our guest, Mr. Hakeem McClellan, the Director of Athletics at Mississippi Valley State University. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, every Tuesday and Thursday right here at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. We look forward to Thursday to discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's DrKenyattacavil. It's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube is Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Dream big, continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles.
Of course.
Roy.
Lecture.
Dismiss.